Are you like a crazy person?
I'm quite sure they will say so.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, episode 153.
Alright, it's probably a bad idea to just keep watching this in silence.
It's a good movie!
It is a good movie, but it's 5 minutes in, and we ain't said shit about nothing. We ain't started anything. We're not talking about nothing.
It was a damn good comic, too.
Losers was a lot of fun. Absolutely. Both versions. The newer one. Now, which way was it? They took this after the revamped book, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
This was a take. It's a much shortened and less cynical take on the book.
Yeah, a lot less cynical, a lot more fun-loving. But good regardless.
Oh, man.
So
you go ahead.
Require you to go ahead.
All right. So you did some nerd purchasing. Some movies have come home with you.
Yes, I now have World War Z and Iron Man 3. Very
nice.
happy about that. I understand Dante or Jeff or whoever the fuck I was arguing with the other day. No, I think it was Detnesroid or whatever the fuck his name is. Dan. Somebody. I was arguing with somebody on Twitter that, I can no longer give a shit about, whether an adaptation is all that close anymore. I'd prefer it to be, but if the movie's a movie and it's a fun and good movie, I don't have the energy to play fucking around with, oh my god, there were no power armors in it.
Now, you have to work within a certain... I
see where this thing's going.
No, there's definitely some challenges to it. You have to respect a certain level of accuracy to the original. Otherwise, you end up with the Wolverine movie with Deadpool...
No, that thing was just terrible.
Freaky eye killer mutant who doesn't talk. Yeah, you go too far, and you've hated quite a few movies that just didn't respect the text enough. But
those were shit movies to begin with.
And therein it lies. You have to respect the fact that it is a film and not a comic, and certain things are not going to play out. For example, the X-Men costumes.
That's never going to work. As much as I like the brown Wolverine costume, it's not going to match well with Storm's weird leather drapey cape half midriff thing, which is never going to match up with Iceman walking around as just a block of fucking ambulatory ice,
or the truly horrific idea of Colossus wearing his costume on television. Ever.
Yeah, those shoulder things on Colossus's pointiness, that's never going to fly. But, there's story points and bits of accuracy. Well, not accuracy. There's plot points that you got to deal with.
No, it's a difficult and it's a very slippery slope, because once you start going, well, we're not going to be able to do that. Well, then we can just do this, and then you get Wolverine or X-Men, The Last Stand or Finals, whatever that piece of shit was.
Last Stand, yeah. Which I'm starting to hate more and more. I didn't have too many issues with it, but I was like, okay, whatever.
I hated that movie. We disagreed vehemently on that one.
Vehemently?
Yeah, that works too.
But then I saw everything wrong with X-Men Last Stand in 4 minutes or less. And I was like, wow. I knew that, but it didn't really hit home at the time, and now I'm like, holy shit, that's garbage.
See, kids, you can learn from the internet.
It ain't easy, but you can do it.
He's not heavy, he's my brother.
But, you get things like Starship Troopers. No power armor, no philosophy. Most of that shit was Juan Rico sitting in class learning about being a citizen. And that's not going to go on the screen, man. If you want to have an adventure about some guy shooting giant spiders, just have an adventure about a guy shooting giant spiders.
Well, you know what? The power armor thing I get. I understand how betrayed you felt, but it's not a seminal text for my personal experience. I will say, though, that you have to look at the fact that America has never really embraced people in giant robot suits.
No, they sure haven't.
So I get leaving that out, but then to throw away everything from it, it's like, well, we're already not doing the power armor, so let's lose the plot and the personas and everything that people like about it, and just take the name and the fact that it's people with guns shooting bugs.
Which largely happened with World War Z, except it had moments of genuine tension and fear, and there was actually some characterization in there. Obviously, World War Z wasn't one man's crusade to save the world from zombies.
Well, was World War Z filmable as a book, really?
You know, if they had done it like an HBO mini mockumentary, that would have been perfect.
Yes, if you did it as a miniseries, then you could get away with that. But even
Hollywood on the silver screen kind of thing, not so much.
Even then, people generally don't like to never go back to a character.
Yeah. There's only one guy who recurs at any length. And even though that's Mark Hamill in the audiobook...
And what's more classic than Mark Hamill?
Not a whole lot. No, so, you know, I've run out of that kind of energy. I'm still angry at things, but then I catch myself and go, what are you doing? Which leads us directly into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from last night. Now, you didn't get a chance to watch it.
I have not watched it.
So, I'm not going to blow it all away for you.
No, go ahead. You know,
but,
we're a spoiler podcast. Why should I be immune?
It's Whedon, so there's a lot of snark. It was a pilot, so it's all set up. It's all introduction. No N in between.
Did the explanation for Coulson work well?
Not yet, because it's a mystery. Maria Hill knows what happened. One of the other characters knows what happened. Coulson thinks something happened, but that's not what happened.
Now, so was Maria Hill played by the same actress?
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Colby Smulders is a... Hi, how are you?
So that made it better for you then.
Yeah, it sure did. I hated the hacker girl's narration. Oh, her acting needs a lot of fucking work.
Well, you generally hate narration, too.
Well, I mean, she really hammed that shit up. Because she's supposed to be this muckraking, pseudo-semi-anarchist girl who wants to hack in and reveal the truth about all the evil in the world. And she kind of got overboard on the enthusiasm, and it just is like, okay, you're sounding stupid now. But the action was okay. A little much on the super science. It's like, oh, what kind of situation we got? Ah, fuck it, we got tech for that. Whatever. And it's cool tech. Watch this. So I was like, you know, if you're going to just use it unobtrusively, okay? It doesn't have to be a spotlighted thing. This is agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not devices of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, you know, there's the James Bond thing. You have to find the right level of tech.
Yeah, but James Bond usually only has 2 or 3 things in any given movie.
But it depends. You go back to the 80s when some of the gadgets... Like, here's a gadget that will drill through a man's face. Like, why would you ever need this? And suddenly you're in the one situation that in your entire life you'll need to drill through a man's face. You're like, well, thank God I have this random gadget.
Oh, yeah, they wrote that scene backwards. They're like, we got him in a situation. What do we do? Fuck it. He drills through the guy's face. How did he do that? Oh, Q gave it to him. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
Go back and throw in a line of Q. Oh, here's a drill that'll go through a man's face.
Oh, okay, good. Will it go through a woman's underwear?
James Bond doesn't need that.
No, that's true. He really doesn't. But
James Bond's kind of... come on. That guy would be like, women's underwear? What is that?
I really enjoyed the vast majority of it. But I think they went a little too heavy on the, hey, we're connected to the Avengers movie, and we'll tell you that through these next 4 lines of dialogue in, like, every other scene. It's like, you know, guys just don't pop out of the sky, right? You've never met Thor, have you? You know, well, what happened in the aftermath of the Battle of New York? Nobody knew about that. You were hiding that, right? Like 3 times. It's like, dude... Yeah, not everybody can have a wondrous suit of armor. Yeah, we get it. We're connected. Move the fuck on. And I kind of got a little irritated at Dan's take on my take.
Really?
Because he's like, oh, well, they got to tell him. And I was like, of course they got to tell him. They don't need to tell him every other scene. And since I know he doesn't listen...
Who does?
He says, that's like saying Trainspotting's a bad flick because people have done heroin before. And I'm like, you're not even getting things together equal, are you? That's not what I'm saying. You referenced it. We all know it now. How about something else? I came to the conclusion this morning on Twitter that nerds just ain't fucking happy unless you're referencing shit that gone before. They're really not.
Well, you know what? Because how often does new nerd shit live up to... Like, it's hard to have an experience that's as cool as when you're 7. Like, the things that you like when you were a kid, that if you saw them for the first time now, you'd be like, oh, this is fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I mean, how many nerd
Regarding
things...
Ultraman, we talked about many times.
But you still love it, you know? I mean, Battle of the Planets, freaking Buck Rogers, all these things that if you saw it for the very first time today, you'd be like, oh, hell's to the no. No, that's fucking monkey puss shit.
Yeah, but just as an extreme, idiotic example, if I was watching Battlestar 1980, which I would never do again, once was enough at 8. That was plenty.
Well, you're using an example that you hated at 8, so that's not a good sign. All right, going on, though.
But, I mean, logically, they wouldn't have had to say, oh, well, you know, after the first, like, half hour, when they show you the Battlestar, and they say, oh, Colonel Adama, don't you remember me? I'm your grandson, for fuck's sake. I know it's dark in here, but this is the bridge. After you say that he's his grandson, you don't need 40 minutes later another conversation saying, don't you remember that Adama's my grandfather?
And yet those things happen all
It's
the
wasteful.
time.
And it's wasteful. It wastes my time. It wastes their characterization. It's established. Let's go. Come on, man. But it's fun. I will watch it again. Coulson's a good fucking character, man. He was in an interrogation, and he's like, look, I'm trying to prove to you, the interrogatee, that we are not evil. And to do that, I'm going to use this truth serum on my own guy. Ask him anything you want. And I was like, that's good. If you had to prove that you were the good guys, you know, it's mean to the, you know, guy getting shot up with sodium pentothal on steroids. But if you want to establish to somebody you need to come over to your side, that you're worthy to come over to your side, the greatest truth serum in the universe is a good thing to present them with.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean...
Because otherwise she wasn't going to believe him.
Well, yeah, but I still wouldn't believe him. Because all you got to do is poke the guy with nothing, and then he just pretends to tell the truth.
All right, now we're walking into the cynical valley.
But it's a spy show. We should be there. We should set up camp in Cynical Valley right by I Don't Entirely Trust You Lake, and fuck you, you're a lying dog-faced douchebag avenue, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a spy show.
Actually, it's not so spyish anymore. It's response to superhuman phenomena.
Nonetheless.
I mean, they are a spyish organization overall, but that's not where the focus of this fucking show is
FBI might not be as spy-y as CIA, but it's still really goddamn spy-y.
Spyish, I would think.
I like spy-y.
Of course you do.
Shut up.
You're a twit.
All right.
Wow, 13 minutes of nothing.
Love it.
You ready for some books?
No.
Oh. Should we just stop books forever? You never want to actually talk about the books.
I just want to drink, man. This is the easiest way to pull that. You know, it's like, girlfriend's like, well, he has to drink for the podcast.
Oh, you're lucky she don't listen. You're a terrible human being, Reverend. Terrible.
I'm an excellent Reverend. It's a funny world.
It's a strange motherfucker.
New York is coming. You getting excited?
Yes, very. And I know when you're trying to sidetrack me.
Yeah. No, I could totally be a terrible person. I'm fine with it. Man, we might meet Perez and Simonson.
Yeah.
Although you said Perez is...
He's got an eye problem, so I mean, I haven't been catching up on it, But he's got some kind of health problem with his eye right now, so things may be dicey for a trip. Who knows? Yeah, so excited about Perez, excited about Simonson, want to see Claremont again. There's so much going on. And I think we shouldn't even bother this time walking around first.
I'm just going to hit names and then buy. Like, that's my goal, is to get the autographs.
Straight to Artist Alley. Get that shit over with.
Because we're never going to see everything anyway, so, like, just have the most fun we can accomplish as much as what we want. My main, like, other, Simonson, Sienkiewicz is huge. Since you got, you've met him, I haven't, which it bugs the crap out of me.
Oh, that's more news, but finish up what you were doing there.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, I think we hit as many people as we can along the way, and then if we find stuff we're interested in buying, we stop and look. Like, no going back, no backtracking.
Yes.
If you're like, well, I wish I hadn't spent that, then you shouldn't have. I could give two shits about your wishes. I'm not a fucking genie.
You are a lunatic, however.
The only Armenian genie ever here.
You mean, of course, Bohemian.
No, I meant my crappy universal accent is what I meant. I do not care for your wishes. I fucking promise you nothing. You rub the lamp, you get what you get.
So, I don't even know what accent that was.
You want nice baklava?
No, it's just some kind of...
I'm telling you.
Well,
you remember
what you are.
I'm actually Irish, and you remember my attempt at a fucking leprechaun. I'm just not an accent guy.
Dude, I'm better at leprechauns than you are.
Sadly, I feel
and that's saying something, because I have the worst Irish fucking thing ever. I can't do that shit to save my bullocks. See, it just wanders into Scottish in a second. Half a syllable away.
Oh, well, that's from the 8 weeks you spent trying to translate Trainspotting. And our second Trainspotting reference on the podcast. It's a sad day.
And you know how bad that is? I've been watching Copper left and right. I still can't pick that shit up.
I gotta get back to that show. I watched one or two, and I really haven't gone any further. It's so fucking good.
It is.
Now, did you finish Ripper Street?
Yes.
See, I love that you started Copper, and then it's like, nope, Ripper Street, I'm just gonna do you first.
Yep.
Then we'll go back to the other period cop show.
And since the housemaid is gone, I've been using the DVR to catch up on the second season of Copper.
Oh, I didn't even know there was already a second.
Yep. Practically done.
Awesome.
Yes.
You got to do Hell on Wheels too. That's on Netflix.
That's
now.
on my list.
Love. All right. What week is it?
Oh, what week is it? Eventually, this will be Indie Week.
Fuck.
But
Indie Week is huge.
There was a decision that was made today.
Really? By who?
By myself and Andrew, our
staff photographer,
official photographer, and market research analyst.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to Star Wars Celebration 7.
What is Star Wars Celebration 7?
It's the one truly official, huge, multi-day Star Wars convention.
Really? And where is it?
It's going to be in Anaheim.
It's not that bad, actually. You go see Andrew, you can drive out, crash for the night.
That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to fly out there. We're going to get in the car the next morning, and we're going to run down to California.
Very cool.
2015.
Nice.
So I got tons of time to save up for it and plan around and everything.
Very cool.
Gonna be good shit. Although, and I'm not gonna lie, and you're not either, you know who the biggest Star Wars nut in the room is.
That would be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say, in Clinton.
Quite possibly.
Clinton and Guilford.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, see? It's good.
I'm not sure you could take the entire state.
I'm expanding my reach.
But
but the fact is, huge. Whoa. I love scooters. And the amazing women that drive them. All Vespas, no helmets, crazy. What was I saying? Star Wars, yes.
Yes.
You were getting caught up in the movie, too.
Well, anyway, what do you got? That's not what I was getting.
I don't know if even I can handle 4 full fucking days of Star Wars convention.
You know what? I think you can, and let me explain why. I totally understand your point. Because, yeah, like, I mean, at least in a comic, there's so many different aspects. It's like, ooh, look, there's a Harley Quinn. Ooh, look, there's a Mecha.
Yeah.
First off, there's going to be overlap. You'll be able to talk about other things.
Oh, sure.
Second off, if people start getting on your nerves, you go look for figures.
Right.
You go look for this, And third off, and this is the most important, this is your fucking holy grail of Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna come down with figures you don't have, and you're gonna be able to tell people like, "Oh, I've got that." It's like, yeah, I've got 8 Imperial guys sitting around the fucking deck chairs talking about Vader. Nobody has that fucking thing, and you're like, I do.
We just found the next storyline. 8 troopers sitting around in deck chairs bitching about Vader. It's getting written tonight. SuperMachoJediKnight.com, where the new Trooper Johnson is published. I got
really?
antsy, didn't want to wait for the rewrite.
Fair enough.
I shot it, I scripted it, I published it. It's fun.
I will have to go and check that out.
It goes a little slow in the first page or two, but then it jumps, and it's a lot of fun.
And next will be, if it goes according to plan, next will be the biggest attempt yet of a Johnson sketch, not your biggest overall.
Right. Sith Apprentice. Just so you know, kids.
I have a plan for a line where one of the guys is like, Sith happens, and Vader's like, dude, no. No, everyone does that. Just
Everyone
stop.
does that. Just, why did you bother? You're not putting that on a shirt. Shut up. Comics, right. Mean Geek. Comics podcasting. On
Just
the
barely.
Disability.
Just barely.
Hey, there is no Angie's List for comics.
That's true.
And
I
that's
still
where we come
entirely know what that means, but
I told you what it means.
I know, but I don't listen. Did you get your
God's
Batman in the mail yet?
No, those douchebags.
What douchebags? Douchebags? Really? What the fuck is a douchebag? Is that a
Bag.
Swedish? Is that a Swedish douchebag?
It is not.
A douchebag. Spreckelsy douchebag.
No, that would be Douchey Burger.
Yutti booty booty booty. I have decided that the Swedish Chef is a litmus test. If you can't laugh at the Swedish Chef, I just don't want to talk to you. Like, if you go up to somebody like meeting them for the first time, try this. Please try this. Just go up to a person if you're like ooty bootin booty bootin, and if they're like, eesh, if they laugh at you, they're awesome, or they're mocking you. But either way, at least there's a shot. If they're like, but what was that?
You got to walk away at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
You just got to turn around and say nothing. Bye.
If you can't appreciate the Swedish Chef, I just don't want to be your friend.
No, I don't like
I
you.
barely want to be your acquaintance.
I don't even want to know that. Just walk away. Just walk out the room slowly.
All right, so it's Indie Week.
It
So
is.
I'm sure you've structured them into the correct pile.
As I read them, as I wrote them down. What,
All
you
right.
think I want to jump around all over the place at your whim?
Jump up, and get down.
911 is a joke.
Inconceivable.
Unbelievable.
Grab it like a hammer,
Information receivable.
sent by the Lord.
Here and abroad.
All right, I'm done. I can't believe we went that far. Two, not only one, but two.
Well, yeah, the thing is, we don't understand the rest of the lyrics from that song.
I know, I don't. You spent a lot more time on it.
With words that and a great big dog. I don't know. I think dog is in there.
All right, so Indie Week.
So Indie Week brings us Uber 4. Now, the double agent Stephanie has finally developed a program that can get the Allies Ubers at a low level. She shows that the Panzermensch, a low-level battleship, can in fact be killed with high enough explosives.
And you can blind them if you shoot them with high-powered
And blind
sniper
them
rifles in the eyes.
In the eyeballs. If you could possibly hit them in the fucking eyeballs, that's some, like, Rambo-level accuracy there. That's not...
Dude, Rambo is not your choice for accurate. Like, come on.
No, he is a spray and pray kind of guy. This is enemy at the gates level fucking
Right.
shooting here.
You might as well be looking for, like, the guy from Commando to shoot, like...
Commando.
The Schwarzenegger flick where he's just
Oh my
flinging
God.
machetes at people.
Stick around.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, take out their eyes at 2,000 paces.
Sully, remember when I told you I'd kill you last?
Yeah, that's right. You promised you'd kill me last.
I lied.
Yeah. You ever want to go back and just slap yourself in the past? Like, that was not cool, dumbass!
You know, there's only so many things that you can beat yourself up over from when you were a kid.
True.
You know, and some you just got to say, yeah, it was, at the time, that's what we did.
We watched guys carry lumber and thought they were amazing. And we had no idea how hot Alyssa Milano would get.
We had no fucking idea how hot she would get.
That one was like, oh, that 5-year-old's going to be just so smoking hot later in life.
She was 11.
You know how old she was in Commando?
We were the same fucking age, dude.
You creepy bastard.
Actually, she was 14.
You filthy hobo.
We were both 14!
You-
I was 14. Of course I'm going to remember that, you dip.
You monkey humping, banana bike riding
You cannot
freakazoid.
say to a 14-year-old that he's a pervert for engaging in mental gymnastics with a fucking other 14-year-old.
I can totally say that.
You can say it, you'd be a dipshit for it.
Well, sure, but I can do it. You know, I'm just saying, I got
You're
the power.
so wrong. You're such a jerk. So, the battleships finally deploy out into the field and start gaining ground to a degree. Siegland, Siegland. I'm not German.
I got that.
Siegland, the blonde bombshell battleship, starts developing some really interesting halo powers, like manipulating energy and manipulating force, and it's kind of funky. It might be getting a little out of hand for World War II. Maybe, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And that's the whole issue. And I enjoyed it.
Wow. No, I mean, there's some really cool things. One of the things that I like is, this is...
4.
No, who wrote it? It's...
Kieran Gillen.
Kieran Gillen. Okay, I turned Kieran Gillen to Cullen Bunn in my head, and then I'm like, I can't remember. It's one of two, and I chicken shitted and didn't guess. So, one thing I like is just a really inherently well done logic. Like, there's a moment where one of the Allied guys finds out that he's super strong, so he lifts a tank.
Yep.
And then the rest of his body hasn't caught up to his strength, so his whole belly rips open.
Yes.
And he dies horribly, which is ungodly gross. Let's just start there. Like, no thank you. And I kind of miss a day when comics wouldn't show you guys fucking innards. Call me kooky. But it's just so well thought out. It's like, yes, you can do this, but you can't do that. Like, there's a reason these things happen in stages. And I like there's inherent logic that runs through Uber. Yeah. It's a dark book.
Yeah.
A little darker than I would like at times, which is why you ended up taking it over.
Yeah.
But it's so well written and logical that I'm very excited by that. And I love the fact that at the end they're like, oh, let's test him by shooting him with a tank. Should we tell him? No, because if this doesn't work, what the Panzerfaust are going to do him is so much worse. Ubermensch away. There's no need to fear. Ubermensch is here. Yes, I've made it underdog.
Yes.
But yeah, so I really like aspects of this book, but I'm not the huge fan you are just because it's so inherently negative. It's just so miserable.
Well, I mean, I don't really think it's quite as bad as you're making it. Really.
No, I probably not. But it is a damn good book, and it's worth checking out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'd like a little more fun.
A teeny bit.
Somebody to smile. Like,
yeah, not going to happen in the waning days.
Except for the insane Russian chick, and they basically just slaughtered all the Russians.
Yeah, they just mowed them the fuck down with raw
Which I was
energy.
a little disappointed about. Like, they went nowhere with the whole Russian characters they spent all the time introducing in the Zero issue.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I don't need these anymore. I got a better idea. How do I get rid of them? Well, why don't we waste them en masse?
Uber slaughter!
Which is, we didn't really need to know, we didn't need any further establishing material that the Nazis were evil. It was pretty clear from the fucking get-go.
Well, I mean, our special 150th episode where I somehow mistakenly try to support Hitler or some dumb shit, accidentally, like, well, I'm not trying to be an apologist, but is he this big a dick? And you're like, yes, historically he was. Okay, fine.
When you lack knowledge, you have to ask.
I mean, I knew Hitler was an asshole. I had it down. I just didn't know how crazy a freak he was. I don't read a lot of fucking Hitler books. I thought that was a good thing.
All right, so don't imply that I'm a fucking Hitler historian here, okay? Because that's not the fucking case.
Dude, you are a well-known Hitlerphile.
That's whoa. Back the fuck up, Doc Brown.
I really hope that is not a real thing. Like people walking around like, I'm a Hitlerphile.
Of course there is, but they wear pointy white hats.
They're cowboys?
No, jackass. And hoods.
Oh.
And burn crosses. You fuck. How did you not get that? Cowboys.
Totally got that.
You twit. You didn't. Yeah, you did. You fucking did.
And we've gotten through one book. And how late is it now?
It's 8:46.
Fuck, this is the worst podcast ever.
It's only a half hour in.
Oh, good. And we've done a book. What's next? And let me tell you how annoyed I am that like half this shit is mine for once. Like you're like, hey, you should look through the Indies. You own most of them. Fuck!
You asked for them, man. You looked in the book and you said, ooh.
I was drunk.
No, you weren't.
No, shit, I was.
Because that was the first thing we did. We didn't even have time to crack a beer.
Oh, I'm drunk before you show up.
Oh. That doesn't make me feel good as a human being. You know that?
No, it's a lie, too.
Fine.
No, I like to pretend that like I care if people are here when I drink.
Right, so, Saga 13. So glad this thing is back. I don't know what that hiatus was all about, but it was worrying me terribly.
Such a bizarre, interesting book.
It is, even though there's not much that got accomplished or occurred in this one.
So much happens and yet nothing. Like it's every character moves forward a little, which is kind of cool. The mom is in mourning.
Right.
The family moves to a new planet where shit goes horribly awry, and you've got
bone bugs,
which is just so gross. A bug that enters your bones and takes over after you die, and then uses your skull to bite people in the ear.
Nasty.
Everything about that is just fucked up and wrong. It's like some sort of Clive Barker, Travis Barker combination. Like it's like not only is it gross, it's tacky and horrible. The hitman starts to remember that he, isn't a horrible human being. Yep. Slave girl gets a name.
Finally.
And apparently there's sexual tension between the ex-girlfriend and the hitman. The writer...
Which is so high that no one can deal with it except subconsciously.
The writer shows up again to be even more drunkier.
More drunkier. That's a good one. That's not her name. We're calling her Sophie.
The only... you don't see the robot, and the cat does not move forward at all. But other than that...
Who needs the robot and the... Come on.
It's not a filler issue, but there's definitely, it's small steps, but it's small steps everywhere, which I like.
Right.
And I love the fact that the mom reads the books, and she's like, really? You converted him with this piece of shit novel?
That did amuse me. It's like, what do you think this guy is? Salinger? What the fuck is going on here?
I think that's exactly it. It's like, for the people who don't like Salinger, it's a guy whining for 150 pages. He's a 15-year-old pussy.
I hated that book.
My point exactly.
Much, man.
I enjoyed it, but when somebody doesn't like it, they're like, I don't there's nothing classic about that. It's literally kind of horrible.
It is.
If the book doesn't touch you in some way, it pretty much just betrays you left and right. It's like you're trying to get me to study a whiny douchebag.
Why? What was that supposed to
I'm in class with them. I don't need more. Bring this not forward.
I'm in class with them. I hated that class.
All right, next. Books.
You're the one that wants to jerk around every episode.
Yeah, but you're cutting into my drinking.
No, I'm not. You just fill the glass back up again and go.
Yeah, but I drink more when you leave.
That
also a lie.
creepy.
Fine.
The hell is wrong with you?
I have no idea. I don't see doctors.
You probably should see a couple. 3 or 4 maybe. All from the fucking Mayo Clinic for Psychology or some shit.
Is that a real thing?
That is so not a real thing.
Fair
I
enough.
made that up on the spot, which is why it sounded stupid.
That works. All right, next.
Revival 13. It's Valentine's date night in Wisconsin.
This is almost exactly the same as Saga. Again, it's small points before the next big storyline.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got everyone's dating, which makes no sense because half of them were fighting a second ago.
Right.
The dispatcher is dating Captain Jack LaLanne there.
Yep.
The gay deputy is dating the incredibly hot guy that came out of nowhere. And the lead character is dating...
Raheem or whatever his
right,
name was.
which I thought they weren't even... Like, where did that come from?
Well, I mean, after a while, you just kind of fall into things. They did have sex the first night they fucking met.
Well, didn't they start and not finish?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they were in the car. They were going at it.
Who the fuck goes back for that?
Hi.
Really? You started to have sex with someone, didn't work out, and then you had a second date?
Shit, yeah. Because the second date did work out.
I'm vaguely appalled by you!
You're not vaguely anything when it comes to appalled.
I can be vague!
No, what I'm saying is you're extremely, completely...
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're
Fine.
utterly appalled by me. There's nothing that's not appalled in your psyche when regards my ass.
Well, certainly your ass. Yes, I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is tremendous. There's a lot to be appalled by. But
It's not funny when you do it.
you laugh.
I drink. All right, so...
The little dead girl, who is walking around alive, but somehow is not a zombie, lets loose that she can hear schmooze.
A lot of creepy shit goes on in this issue.
A lot of creepy shit in this issue.
The older gentleman, who's also a revival, kissing the professor to steal his secrets, and then finding
Yes.
his soul and turning into a shmoo.
Yes.
Or at least dissolving into dust, and then another shmoo arrives.
Right. Because he can't feel anything.
Slightly icky.
Lots of icky.
I really enjoyed, however, when the redneck exorcist hits on the Asian reporter and she just punches him in the balls in the hospital bed. I'm like, that is so fucking perfect.
You know, if I was minding my own business and some douchey redneck with broken bones thought I was just going to bone him right there.
After trying to murder her?
After trying to murder me.
Let's not skip that part.
That's critical. I would, in fact, punch him in the fucking sack.
It was just so subtle, like, oh yeah, dog. And for you...
Tim Seeley's a lot of fun. He writes a good book.
Love this book. Just so bizarre. And I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yep. What happens next in our books? Aha! You didn't give me any puns to work with. I had to go for the bad segue.
Well, I'm punchy tonight.
Yeah, you sound it.
No, punchy, pun. There you go.
Right. Satellite Sam 2. Barely anything really happens here except people positioning for better jobs and contracts.
Yeah, well, it's all very political in a business sense in this book. I mean, really, nothing happens the first issue other than someone shows up dead, and it
Right.
might be the least exciting death in a comic ever.
Yeah, since we didn't even see it happen.
Right, we just have a guy dead, and they're like, oh god. But now the show might fall apart, or it might not. But it's the key to the network.
Surviving.
So they're really trying to work that out, and people are trying to position themselves everywhere, and everyone is basically a friggin' whore on this show.
Pretty much. Strangely enough, the evangelical chick has a sordid secret, because you can't have somebody who's actually fucking spiritual.
Well, not in a book where Shaken
Not
is
by
involved.
Jakin.
No,
Not where he's in.
Yeah, it's like, I will not draw that. She better fuck somebody soon, or...
You get the idea that he might be thinking those very words?
I totally think if somebody's like, oh, I have a book, and I have a really honest and decent religious character. Dude, go hire Steve fucking Ditko. No, I don't do that. That is not what I do. Like, if it doesn't involve lacy black underwear, I don't want to fucking draw her.
He really doesn't.
No.
I mean, it's even on the covers of, like, the last 30 books he drew, for fuck's sake.
Yep. No, it's a really interesting book. I really could have done without watching the lead character masturbate. That was fucking...
Yeah, I was not on boat with that.
And you know, it's sad, but all the pictures are lined up, and I'm like, fat. It says fat. I'm like, no, did not do that. Let's just be real clear. But it does say that, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is happening? Oh my God! I'm so goddamn dumb sometimes.
And how lightweight was everything in the 50s where that was the material you were after?
Hey, you know what? Pre-internet, we all lived a very different life. You youngins have no idea what the world was like. Trying to find things that would work.
Yeah, you, the 18-year-old, you have no idea what it's like to have to sneak in and get somebody to buy you a Hustler.
Not even that, man. Shit, yeah, when you've had to work off catalogs.
Catalogs, Sports Illustrated.
And Franco goes in where the others have been. That's the shirt we need to make.
I think it might be a little too copyrighted.
I don't
try. But what would the image be?
Well, nothing to do with this conversation.
Should have had the two of us on it? I hope not. Because somebody might get the idea that one of us is Franco.
Yeah, no, that
and the
won't
other
work.
is getting gone in. And that's not fucking working.
But, no, I like Satellite Sam. I do want...
evil people.
I want it to go a little bit further and, start to develop. But it's moving. It's not, stagnant in any way. I'm waiting for the next.
Right. You chose this one.
Shit.
And I'm wondering eventually what you're going to take is... What your takeaway is going to be on this. With Sidekick, which shows us the seamy underbelly of the kicking world as a semi-competent kick tries to make his way through without his hero through prostitution, Kickstarter campaigns, and light stalking.
How many sidekicks have actually made it to the big leagues?
Wally Wood, Dick Grayson.
Dude, do we consider Nightwing the big leagues?
He stood on his own. He had his own book. He led the Titans.
Sleepwalker had his own book. Is that necessarily big league?
He had a book.
Wally Wood was a legitimate Flash. He was
West.
Oh, wow. No, I wasn't the artist. That's so sad. Oh, my God. That's actually dorkier to mistake the character for, an even less well-known. That's horrible.
No, Nightwing got his own book. He got into the triple digits. That's respectable.
I guess because I've never read a single issue of Nightwing.
Well, I've
ever.
only read tie-ins to major storylines. I've never purchased it.
All right. So that's two.
Speedy turned into Arsenal, which nobody gives a shit about.
No, even joined the JLA still didn't matter. Lost an arm didn't matter. Dated a villain, had a baby. Nothing. The less said about Aqualad, the better. Wonder Girl went nowhere.
She's been hanging around. Well, she was hanging around the Titans before.
The Titans is where they put them all. I mean, that's not a fucking endorsement.
Out to pasture.
It's
they have adventures. Come on.
We grouped together. I think, big leagues would be moving past that, though.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Almost none.
Two. And Nightwing, really, iffily.
And they really did. Kicks were really only in DCs and Fawcett's and...
Well, Bucky got the Winter Soldier, but I mean, now he's an adult and he's a super fucking villain assassin hero, which is the dumbest fucking sentence ever.
Who got his own book that we enjoyed immensely.
True.
But couldn't last somehow. No, because Marvel really never bothered with sidekicks. They had the occasional kid version, but they were never really kicks.
No. But, did this feel kind of like a Mark
Bullet
Millar
Boy,
book?
He didn't go anywhere. It felt a lot like a Millar book. But Straczynski does have this thing where he likes to get kind of gritty every once in a while. Because I've been I've been reading Midnight Nation. And that's kind of harsh.
I didn't know if you'd love that or not. I am actually a huge fan. I have 1 through 11. I never found 12,
I'm
which
only
is
about 2/3
fucking
through.
annoying as balls.
Yeah, that's gotta suck.
But I didn't know, and I mentioned that at the time. It's it's worth checking out. But I told you even then, I'll take it if you hate it because I don't know. It was really unique in the way it went to things. But this is. It really feels like a Millar universe book more than a Straczynski. And maybe it will go elsewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think we went any further than one.
No, because we just wanted to see. This was part of the whole one issue, is it a trade experiment.
Right. And, my fault, fine, I do things sometimes. It's not terrible.
No, there's no fault there.
But it wasn't like, oh God, we should try and get to quickly.
Yeah.
I did like, however, the one thing is the hero dies, the sidekick's a fucking loser, the female, whatever, like, was she the Lois Lane? Was she the Batgirl? Is moved on with her life, the sidekick has not. And then the hero being alive at the end was at least an interesting twist on it.
Yeah. He's got a chance at having a better life soon. If the guy comes back to the fore.
If Batman went to Buenos Aires to bang his heart out and
totally
told Robin he died.
Totally forgot about that scene. Right, moving forward. You were saying about Robin?
If Batman had gone down to Buenos Aires, banged everything he could find, took all his money, and left Robin fucking sitting there with an empty mansion not for sale, and even Alfred went with Batman, Robin might not handle it well, I mean, depending on which of the 15 of them you choose.
Right. Because there's a lot of Robins these days.
Yeah,
and they're not all everything I want them to be. Right. Yeah. So that was an interesting book.
No, it was a solid read, but not amazing.
Yep. So, what, we want to get some more booze, or what's the deal?
We do.
All right. Well, if you got your booze, I'll put down this Victoria's Secret catalog.
Well, you're a giver.
Yep. So, BPRD Vampire 5. The professor confronts Simon, who just kind of runs off, and that's what I got out of this issue.
So, you've got, it's the end of the Vampire Saga. You've created a new /hero /villain. Maybe he'll get his own book, which I'm like, dude, you don't need any more of this universe.
No, there's plenty.
I will say, I kind of miss the fact when Hellboy used to have fun, and the BPRD wasn't the worst place on earth to work.
It's a little excessive.
Having said that, though, I thought Vampire and the one before it, 1945? 48, yeah. I'm sorry, there's been so many years. There's some solid, interesting things. I really like Trevor Butenholm. The fact that they brought him back as the lead character and like this polite, scholarly, physically okay, but not fucking anybody up.
Right.
Lead hero is just a cool concept. The little ghost psychic girl is a little creepy.
A teeny bit, yeah.
But him trying to figure out how to be a dad to a monster is just sort of cool. Not that he's a monster in the strictest sense, but like if a tiny red demon showed up at your house with a huge fist.
Yes, very good point.
You're like, is your first word adoption?
No. My first word is
Exactly. Everybody else shits himself. He's like, oh, it's my son. That's a good person. And I like the fact that it's a book about a guy who does his best for everybody.
See, this sequence in Losers is utter horseshit.
What's that?
Nobody gives a shit about the IT guy. If the computer's unattended and needs work done, they're like, fuck it, go. He doesn't have to prove himself. He doesn't need his badge. He doesn't need the security guard going, are you Skippy? He's like, dude,
I think it's more the fact that...
I'm just renumerating the IP stack. What do you want?
I think it's more the fact that
you have no idea that there's no word like renumerating.
No, I assume that. I totally would not know. But the fact that he went to the front desk and they didn't pass him, and then the security guard shows up, there's an inherent logic to that. If the guard didn't know that if somebody hadn't called the guard, nobody's stopping the IT guy. But the fact that he didn't get correctly past the front desk, I feel like it doesn't throw itself off as much as you do.
I talk to a lot of executive assistants every single day, and they're always asking me shit like, does he need to be here for you to do this? And I'm like, no. She's like, just remote into it and go. They don't care.
But you don't walk by any of them without a pass or whatever. And therein lies the difference.
They might.
But we've gotten caught up again.
I'm not on site, so
no,
whatever.
I think we're probably going to... We have to go back to graphics and revisit a lot of history in BPRD.
Yes.
Because we understand literally almost nothing.
Yes.
If it didn't happen in Hellboy, you and I honestly don't know. And
It's
if
true.
it happened in Hellboy, you still kind of don't know.
I'm not caught up on all things Hellboy yet. That might have to be my next project.
Well, before you say that,
Put him in a bag.
I did find Bone Graphics 8 and 9. But I didn't find 7, so I've got one little hole before the final end to the Bone. I was like, holy shit, yes! And then I got home and I'm like, fuck, no! No! You evil bitches! Who does this? Who reads 6 books and buys 8 and 9 without 7? One guy on
the
Earth.
Craziest shit, isn't it?
Ah.
Or you could get stuck like me and somebody says, oh, here's the book says Bone. He said he wanted Bone. You know, and he really wanted 1, and the motherfucker got him 7. 7 kind of looks like a lazy 1 that just wanted to hang out and have a smoke.
Oh, man. How many do you actually own now? You have 2. You have 1
and 9.
You have 9?
I have 9.
How the fuck did you end up with that?
4.
Oh, that was because of me, because I bought 2.
4. 1 and 4.
Yep.
That's how. Because I don't buy them, I get them given to me. That's how I get my. That's how I get my bone.
People buy my bone, baby! Holy shit! And we've gone far afield.
that is enough scotch for you, monsieur.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar.
Now,
wow, the Doors,
we
really.
both hated Zero.
Zero, what? The Ghost Story?
I'm getting there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
We both hated Zero. We're worried that it wouldn't be a good book at all. But 1 and 2 got ordered somehow because we wanted to have faith. And I was largely converted on Captain Midnight.
You know what? Pluses and minuses. Doesn't get a full pass.
Yeah.
It's basically, if you think back, and I don't know if you actually even read this, but it's almost a steal from Chaikin's Shadow.
Huh.
Like, you've got the guy coming back, rebuilding his team, possibly hooking up with the granddaughter of the girl he used to hook up with.
Chaikin's Shadow from last year?
No, the miniseries. The original one back in the 80s.
Oh, I don't remember that.
But, no, there were some interesting things.
There were some things I was worried about, like some of the names, like Fury Shark. Go fuck yourself.
You know what? I didn't mind it because it was a Nazi villain. And he got his head whacked off by a polar bear. I'm like, fuck, this is my kind of thing. So there were definitely some high points. I hate the fact that there's an ex-husband, ex-wife team. That annoyed the shit out of me, particularly since it looks like she's probably going to hook up with Captain Midnight, and now you're going to have a grumpy ex-husband teammate garbage. I loved the CIA guy who everyone literally hates. It's like, you piss off everyone. Yeah, I know that. I'm just trying to do my... No, you're just a giant dickhole. No one wants a huge dickhole.
Ew.
And there's my point. So there were definitely some interesting points. And then there's the, he knows more about jets than anyone ever, and he's already rebuilding.
That strained credulity a little bit until I remembered that we had a fucking scientist supreme in one of the books we enjoyed.
Hi, kids! This is Professor T.O. Morrow with your comic book science moment. All scientists are less supreme than me, first off. Secondly, there's no actual supreme scientist title. Also, I get all my shit from the future, so I'm up on these things. And most of your current comic book scientists, huge dickholes.
Oh, I don't know if fucking...
Don't debate Professor T.O.
Oh, hey, Reed's not a dickhole. Reed is a jerk. I'm not going to debate that. I don't know if you can strictly call him a dickhole.
Look, did he ever build a android with a meso? No, he did not. Who did that? I did, Professor T.O. Morrow.
Jesus. All right, fine. We'll let Mr. Morrow have his say.
Do not debate Morrow.
What'd I just say? I said it was fine.
I will pull something from the future that blows your brain up. It'll look like a pop rock. Yeah, that's the kind of power I have, sir.
Yeah, all right. So,
I feel like you don't enjoy my visits.
Yeah, I sometimes no.
Anyway, kids, remember, no such thing as a scientist supreme. There's only the supreme scientist that is Professor T.O. Morrow.
So, Fury Shark kills a bunch of fucking industrial spies, implying heavily that her technology is not from Earth. And,
that's right. The dad is Ivan Shark. The daughter is Fury Shark.
Yes. Turns out Cap was let loose from the carrier, but is later captured by Fury, because of course the hot, blonde, crazy Nazi chick has to capture the hero at some point, because there has to be weird tension and
Tradition!
And large exposition about how the master, blah, 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 the race, blah, 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 breeding, blah, blah, blah.
I thought you were the one who was for this.
I did like it, but I mean, that's obviously what's going to occur.
Right. No, there was...
if the speech is interesting enough, then fine.
Now, do we have the next one coming, or...
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Don't think so. But what is coming next... You're still not convinced, huh?
What's that?
Midnight.
It's solid. It's not amazing. But I liked it enough that I would probably pick up the next one.
Right.
I mean, I now have 0, 1, and 2, so I will probably have to find 3 at some point. We should probably do your 6th thing, but unfortunately we may have missed the windows. We'll have to hunt them down. Yeah. But who knew? Maybe we did.
It was hard to tell, man. 0 was not fucking promising.
Hey, you've got a hero from the past showing up in the future. We'd already been betrayed by fucking Miss Fury and the Black Bat and every other attempt. I believe after the 0, I swore off, like, all right, fine, no more 40s heroes.
Yes.
The Black Beetle is a friggin' aberration.
That's exactly
it's
what
an
happened.
aberration on abominations. That's what I'm dealing with.
You.
A to A.
Right. However, I know you enjoyed the next book.
Which is?
I know you're very happy with Brother Lono, number 3.
Oh, so dark and confusing and awesome.
Yes.
Drug dealers are evil.
Excellent.
Religious people are weird. Bodies on friggin' church ground. Hot nuns. There's a sentence you shouldn't have to say.
Lono pals around with the sheriff when the priest confronts the drug lord. A former orphan vandalizes crops and almost kills the priest, but Lono saves his ass. Lots of craziness going on in this. And all incredibly well executed.
The funny thing about 100 Bullets and Brian Azzarello and Brother Lono is that it's so much better as a graphic and as a told story, but buying them individually, you just get... Like, you don't want to wait for the graphic. You want the next issue.
Yes.
And most things can't do that. I mean, when's the last book that was like that for you? Unwritten?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And you finally ended up doing that just because it was so convoluted that it was hard to maintain.
Yeah, it really was.
It's like, I'm just buying the graphics so I can read them once because I'm not remembering the tiny minutia shit that you're pulling up.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
Like, I'm sorry that I don't recall one quote from Huck Finn that plays 18 different parts in this one storyline, but I'm going to just do this at once.
They did do things like that in that book.
No, I'm not making that up.
That's not an exaggeration right there. Drink some more beer. Did you want to say anything else? Because that pretty much covers it.
No,
it's enjoyable and it's convoluted.
It's right up there with the best of 100 Bullets, and there's nothing better I can say. Like, you who come to meet me through the podcast didn't deal with me during the 100 Bullets period, where I was a raving loon about how much better Brian Azzarello was than everything else. Better than comics, better than movies.
Wow, I totally forgot how much underwear time is always held down ahead in this fucking flick.
I love that you actually fucking break things down by underwear time.
I don't. It's just that she's spending a lot of time in her underwear in this flick. And
well, if you're a director and you had Zoe Saldana in her movie and she's like, what do you want me to wear for this scene? Let's go with your underwear. Like, if you were a director, you'd be like, well, how do you feel about naked? Dude, stop hitting me. Fine. Underwear is fine. Please, that hurts. Worst director ever. Where did this lesbian love scene come from? This wasn't in the original script. The original script was shit.
I'm adapting it right now. So I want you to feel engaged in this scene. All right, you know what? Next book. Lobster Johnson, A Scent of Lotus, number 2.
All right. So, Lobster Johnson
is attacked by masked monkeys and gets shot.
Dude, monkeys fuck Lobster up.
A lot. I mean, they ruin his fucking day, dude. The Tong fella finally explains that the money process in the Japanese insurgency against the Japanese, which was kind of interesting because, there had to be some way that the Chinese were trying to fight the Japanese. Where were they going to get dough? Probably poppy.
There's some cool things in this. One thing drove me completely insane, though.
Yeah?
You've got this reporter character, and the first one was kind of and this really turned it around. I love some cool things with this. The villain actually kind of gets away. Lobster's like, oh, we got her in the press. It's like the Al Capone plan. It's like, let's get him for tax evasion because we're the worst cops ever. It's like he just shot a guy in Main Street and then peed on him, laughing. But tax evasion!
But nobody can prove it because nobody will fucking talk.
But you've got this cop who's kind of dating the reporter, but is trying to lead her on because she's led him on in the past. But they both kind of like each other, but she might be hooking up with the black mechanic who's now a sidekick to Lobster.
Right.
And the cop was racist to the black sidekick because, he's a mechanic, a black guy, he must be the villain.
Mechanic in the fucking 30s.
Right.
What else were you going to be?
But then you have the black guy meeting the Asian guys and being racist to them.
Oh, yeah, because they're jackasses in the 30s. What else were you going to be?
I'm like, I don't even know who to root for anymore. Like, is everybody an asshole?
In the 30s?
Apparently.
Much.
Except
was
Lobster.
Starving.
You know what I want more from Lobster? Like, where is his mystical power? Like, his mystical power is to move fairly well when he gets shot. Well, fucking Schwarzenegger had that shit. I mean... Lobster Johnson is just so fucking cooler than everybody else. And I feel like his own book doesn't even remember that sometimes.
Sometimes. That is irritating.
But
I'll tell you what, he fills out a pair of fucking jodhpurs, man.
Okay, you are creepy.
No, I just love the word jodhpurs.
Fine. Second issue well redeemed the first one. First one I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
But fucking monkeys in masks with machine guns and a gunfight on the roofs of Manhattan, that shit's epic. Like, I am in. You, sir, have called me to the table and I will eat.
So, more Chaykin goodness.
Oh, Buck Rogers.
Yes. Now, let me get this out of the way, because I have read the original Buck Rogers novel
I have not.
several times.
Several times? Really?
Yeah,
you want to revisit
times.
that?
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's 5 pages long, for fuck's sake. No, it's like 110 pages. It's like
Don't lie to me!
It's like 110 pages.
What a silly book.
But, it's much better than the last couple of tries. And it hews much, much closer to the novel. But now it's got this weird, ham-handed leftist screed for the proletariat thing going
So that wasn't in the book, then?
No, not
Okay,
really.
cool, because I was like, where the fuck is this coming
Now,
from?
the thing was, society in the book, in the novel, did move forward, and the Han did take over much of the world.
So they nailed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they got a lot of it right. The rocket packs were fine, but everybody gets the rocket packs. But almost nobody... I'm sure that some publishers and writers were afraid of looking too racist by making, the white guy the plucky hero against the horrible Chinese people. But what we find out in the book is that they're not actually just Chinese. They're alien hybrid Chinese.
That's the worst kind.
The worst kind of hybrid?
I have no idea. I was like, wow. Really? Hybrids? It's like a car now.
The Han society is almost perfect. It's very Chinese structured.
So it's almost Chung Kao-ish.
Oh, yeah, if you remember, I only got through like half of the first one. So maybe one day I'll revisit that and figure it out. But, yeah, very structured, very cast-like. And, except in Buck Rogers, there were no poor. There wasn't a lower caste. There was big rich politicians and big rich businessmen and big rich merchants, but an average schmo didn't exist.
Well, they had to.
No, they had the white guys do everything.
Yeah, but so those were the poor.
No, I mean within Han society specifically.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, but this gets a little heavy.
So every
on the
Han
whole
was a rich guy
working class
unto himself.
guy. Huh?
Every Han was a rich guy unto himself.
Yeah.
That would make him a Han Solo?
No. That's terrible. Terrible. Don't pat your leg like you got something to laugh about. That's not fucking funny at all.
I disagree.
Well, that's why you're crazy.
All right, so the whole so getting back, I actually kind of enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. I love chicken, so I'm like, fuck it. Like Black Rogers literally calls me in no way. Beady, beady, beady. No, fuck off.
I do love the styling, man. The boots, the jetpacks, the leather, the fucking...
All the fucking World War I 40 stuff he's been doing led him to do some very cool things with that. Awesome book. But where did the fucking Grapes of Wrath, We're a Union, where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. I think that's old Howard injecting his own shit into that.
I love the Wilma Deering, though, like the fact that the relationship sucked. Like, that was so cool. Like, you're a girl and you're my boss, and I have to do that because you've got a rocket pack and a fucking laser, but I totally disagree with everything because you're a girl. Like, that's a 40s guy. I get that part, but the Grapes of Wrath thing
that's
definitely threw me.
That's a 20s guy, actually.
Oh, good point. Is this book actually worth reading?
I think so. Well, I mean, from a historical perspective. I mean, it's a lot like the E.E. Smith stuff.
I will
like
never touch it.
30s sci-fi, you're going to love E.E. Smith.
I've tried E.E. Smith, and we both know how that went. It's hard to throw a book that hard, but I found a way.
But, dude, this thing is so short and so simple. You could do this on the pot, for fuck's sake. And you'd be like, one shit, book's done. I know how fast you read. You're like, page 190, done, finished.
Not as much as you'd think now. I mean, with the amount of homework you assign, I'm reading comics everywhere.
We can skip things. I'm telling you, you don't have to make it homework. You can just read it at your leisure.
It sounds like cheating.
On who? It's our show. We get to run this shit. Come on.
Madness. All right, what else you got?
Your pick of the year.
Oh, crap.
Itty Bitty Hellboy #1.
No, you know what? I love Hellboy. I have to get it.
It's cute, but I didn't laugh.
It's fine. It's for little kids. I've got 4 more of these fuckers showing up.
I don't know that it's for little kids.
Well, I mean,
because you don't just give a little kid a demon book.
But you know what? You do.
Hell is in the title.
I wholeheartily disagree.
Yeah?
Because if you think back to Casper and Hot Stuff.
All right, I'll give you that, but it's hot stuff and not hell.
Fair enough, but we live in a different world now.
Yeah, we sure do. All right, I'm with you.
So I think it's a modern variation of that. It's kind of cute. It's more for adults because kids are like, what? Dude, I read funnier shit than I've got Adventure Time. I've got Phineas and Ferb with a platypus spy.
Platypus spy.
It's kind of like Little God. Where's the audience for this? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's my nephews are not going to laugh at this.
No, I mean, okay, it was kind of like, look, I've got Roger's underwear on my hand. Now I need hand sanitizer. Oh, they've got a refrigerator box, and we've got a dishwasher box.
That was rather imaginative, though. That harkened back to the transmogrifier box that Calvin and Hobbes used. All they did was label it differently, cute. And suddenly it was a whole other imaginary device.
It was legitimately cute. It's, Giorello, but there's a lot of this out there. And at no point were you like, oh, that's fucking really funny. Like, oh, he's got underwear on his hand.
Yeah.
It's like Hangover, too. Like, all right, I understand in theory how this is funny. It's just not fucking working. But the art is great. Like, they all look adorable in their tiny little style. On the cover, it's got Lobster Johnson with the tiny kid Baby Lobster. That made me laugh more than the book did.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck is Baby Lobster Johnson running around like a loon?
I want to see a Baby Lobster Johnson book.
Right. Well, I don't, though, because,
it's not going to ruin things. You can always go back and read Scent of Lotus again.
I'm going to get all of them because I love Hellboy. It's not going to
invalidate the previous stuff.
But I do feel like you almost want it to be more bizarre. Like, if you really had a Baby Lobster Johnson book, like, oh my God, now I've got to, cure this baby exorcism. And just bring the strangest much more to the forefront, I feel like it'd be a better book. But I don't understand the audience for these things.
No, a lot of Tiny Titans, that was quite clear. That was, 6 to 10.
But you know what? They played dumb almost. Like, we're heroes fighting over pool rights. And this is going for cute more than dumb.
Yeah, but I giggled a lot at Tiny Titans.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. But I know Little Gotham did nothing for you, and this
No,
feels
Little
much
Gotham
closer to
did
that.
precisely Zippo for me.
This feels closer to that.
A little bit, yeah. There's 5-year-old humor, and then there's, timeless, gentle humor that a 5-year-old can like.
Right. This is, and do you want to bring kids more into the Hellboy world where they can't read anything else?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because I'm not handing an 8-year-old fucking Conqueror Worm.
No, maybe the first book, but there's some dark and foreboding shit ahead of you there. Like, let's join BPRD into our... All right, but what do you got next?
The almost, I was going to say triumphant, but it really wasn't much triumph going on in Lady Rawhide's return in this 5-issue mini. It was a fairly standard Zorro-esque adventure with a very lean and direct-to-the-point origin and a bit of action.
There's a lot of action. Here's my thing. I got Lady Rawhide because I love Zorro.
Yep.
And I kind of regret it. And now I'm up to 4, and I have to finish the fucking thing. But here's the thing. It doesn't have Zorro.
How do you think I feel? I gotta tell this company I want 3 of these fucking things every month.
Really? You're getting one for your mom?
Yeah. One for me. One for you.
Oh, I didn't think you got one.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Here's
the
thing.
thing.
Me 3 of those, please.
It's
like you're planning on ruining one of those, aren't you?
It's gross. Yeah, but it is. It's there was that whole large-chested bad girl comic period from the late 90s, early 2000s that Lady Rawhide was a part of. I love Zorro, and Lady Rawhide is as close as I get to Zorro right now. I'm like, fuck, I'm in. And then I'm reading, I'm like, there's no goddamn Zorro! And I knew that in my head, it wouldn't be there. But then I'm reading it, and I'm like, fuck, this is completely Zorro-less.
Oh, come on.
Z is for zero, not for Zorro.
Oh.
And now you've got some sort of attractive captain, so there's you can chase me and we'll flirt, but you can't have me because I'm fucking Lady Rawhide and I just wear boobs and run around and whip people.
Wear boobs and run around.
And whip people.
What?
Am I wrong?
What? You said you didn't mind the original books.
I have the graphic of the first Lady Rawhide miniseries. And it's odd. But if you recall, Mike Mayhew was the artist, and I really like him. Don McGregor wrote it. I really like him.
Yeah.
But it didn't go anywhere particularly exciting.
No, it really didn't.
And this goes less. So I've got 4 more of these coming.
Well, my 65-year-old mom will enjoy it.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you have to hope. And sometimes when you hope, things go... It's not like it's horrible. It's kind of westerny. I like that.
Yeah, that's why I said it's
she whips
fairly
people.
Standard.
But yeah, there's nothing it brings to the table that's so exciting. I'm like, fuck yes, I can't wait for the next issue of Big Chesty Whip Somebody.
Big Chesty Whip Somebody? That's a title.
But, it really is what it comes to. There was when it was played against Zorro, there was more of a depth to the character. Because here you have a woman who can't be a woman in her society, so she dresses completely provocatively to A, screw with men, and B, to kind of reaffirm who she is. And then at the same time, she's confronted with a guy who's hedonistic but moral. Lady Rawhide has no point without Zorro.
Not in this issue, she doesn't. Something might happen.
You could do more interesting with her than this, I'll give you that. But she played off Zorro perfectly because you've got the guy who is the male version of her.
Yep.
And when you take that away for, here's Steve Trevor, the Mexican version.
The Mexican version.
It just doesn't have the same effect. You've already had Wonder Woman. I don't need that. I liked a woman who... I never cared about Lady Rawhide. I can't fucking claim otherwise. But I like the fact that Zorro had, this female counterpart who's also stepping out on society, but in a different way, and not necessarily heroically. Like, she was part villain, part... she was Catwoman to Zorro. If you take away Zorro, now you've got a Catwoman solo book, and those are always horrible.
Ouch. Unless Darwin Cook's doing them.
Not fair enough.
Aha!
All right, I stand corrected. Ed Brubaker steps up, and I'm out.
See? You didn't get it, did you? So Star Wars 8... According to plan, Luke and Wedge get captured.
Worst plan ever.
They escape with some questionable ethics, as I'm sure some of those prisoners were a diversion and got killed.
Well, they're just because they're captured by the Empire doesn't make them innocent.
No, but they can't be certain of that.
True, but you know what? They might get away. It's better off than just sitting in prison.
They could be other political prisoners. They could be dissidents. They could be people who've spoken out against Palpatine. They don't know. And half of them are dead now because old farm boy and Mr.
Antilles.
I can survive anything.
You know what's awesome about this issue? There are 2 key points for me. But
Yeah.
finish your point, and then I'll go to my, the Rev's moment of the issue.
Well, Han does some skilled maneuvers to avoid Fett, but ends up in a bad position. Leia visits Alderaan and makes a friend.
All right, the Leia Alderaan story I don't care about at all. Like,
You like the original part when she was viewing the tourist vids.
yeah, well, that was clever because it made sense and it was emotional in a small way. Going out to visit the planet and running into some random dude and then getting on a ship is just dumb. And Leia's never dumb. Impetuous, yes. Dumb, no. And come on, like I'm a rebellion leader. I'm a princess. Oh, you like Alderaan? Let me get on. No, I'm not buying that.
It is dubious.
There are 2 key moments that I think are fucking amazingly awesome in this. First is Han Solo flying a garbage scow. Like, I'm just so happy. While Chewbacca's flying his ship and proving how awesome his ship is, he's like, I'm just going to push this fucking space dumpster around to not get shot in the ass. And manages to do just well enough to not get shot in the ass. That's everything I want in Han Solo. That's what I want in a Star Wars book. Now, the other is just good writing. The other key rev point from this issue is the fact that when they get caught, no one notices Luke Skywalker. They're like, oh, well, the Antilles family is very rebel-friendly. Like, you got fucking Luke Skywalker!
Yeah, did they even get his name out of it?
No, they're just like, oh, fuck an Antilles. Wedge is the huge plot point. That's fucking amazingly cool.
Yeah, Wedge is a good character. I just wish that books like Rogue Squadron, The Back to War were better.
Well,
Because
you know what?
those books suck.
You've got to bear in mind something about Wedge Antilles, which is that he has absolutely no personality. So everybody's kind of making that shit up as they go. It's like, maybe this will fly. Let's try this.
Do you really think you can hit it?
Because, I mean, the reason we like this Star Wars book is because they're nailing the characters correctly for the first time in a long time.
Right.
When you're dealing with a Wedge book, you have nothing to base it on, so you're just making it up. Like, well, he's moral. Oh, and he's got brown hair. Super.
And he's a decent pilot. He survived.
We don't even know if he's a decent pilot. We just know that he doesn't die.
Yeah, there's luck involved, maybe, and...
For all we know, Porkins was like the fucking ace of that group. All we know about Wedge Antilles is that you can't kill him.
Porkins was not the ace of the group.
We don't know that.
I'm going to tell you right now, Jack Porkins, was not the ace of the group. And he was not all right. Oh, I forgot the guy went straight into the jet engine. That's disgusting. And I forgot about the flaming Ghost Rider fucking... This movie's fun, but I totally forgot about that weirdness right there.
Yeah, this is a little cheesier than I recall. But next book?
Next book is Astro City 3.
Now,
so happy with the return.
You did not give me 2 to read. I found it on my own and bought my own 3 because you're a douche. So this is the call center storyline.
I gotta make some mistakes, motherfucker.
I know.
You want to start ordering your own shit?
No. Damn.
All right, so where were we?
Wow,
Call center
I got
guy.
called out. It's so annoying. But, yeah, it's the call center storyline, which is so bizarre and so clever at the same time.
Now, I thought that her guilt was a tiny bit overwrought and a little bit unwarranted.
I don't agree with that, and I'll explain why. Well, after you're done.
She takes the effort to go out and make up for that, which is really admirable, because that is not a safe part of the fucking world.
No.
And she just says, well, I have resources. I'm going to make it good to these people. She kind of fixates on the one kid, though, and kind of tangentially helps the rest of the relief efforts.
Well, that plays into what I'm going to say, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
The call center people, and this is established in 2, which is why it's important to read 2 before you get to 3, funnily enough, are living vicariously through the heroes. Like, they're excited to get a good call that results in a positive result for the hero. Like, oh, hey, there's an alien invasion. I caught it through this phone call. Go fix it.
Yeah?
So when they get it wrong and people die, it's the opposite effect.
I can see that.
So for her to be emotional about it makes sense with what they've developed. So I was cool with that. And the fact that she's obsessed with this kid is that it's a little child who calls her and she reads it wrong. So imagine for even a moment, and you're kid sensitive to begin with, which is fine.
Yeah?
Imagine that a kid comes to you about something and you misjudge it, and then you think something happens to the kid because you misjudged it.
That's a lot of guilt right there.
That's what I'm saying. If you throw on top of that supervillain madness and explosions and mass murder, but at no point in that situation, this is to your credit, and one of the reasons I love you, is that you would ever forget that the kid might get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why this character works so well, because she not only focuses on that she failed in something that nobody could theoretically do. It's like, oh, you should know every phone call what will result from that.
Yeah, that's where it got touchy, because I'm like, you can't.
But you can't stop yourself.
Your assumption
from
was correct, but it was still an assumption.
Well, her assumption is wrong, and it results in a totally logical choice that becomes supervillains shooting fucking social workers, which I'm all for, by the way.
Oh, hey. Shooting social workers?
Come on. I had a guidance counselor.
That's not the same.
Oh, well then fine, I'm not for
Social workers are very different people, man.
But my point being, she made a logical choice that resulted in complete and utter insanity.
Yes.
That is no way her fault. But if you make the wrong call in a situation with a tiny child and everything goes to shit,
yeah,
a level of guilt is understandable. If you're already associating yourself with the heroes, even on a tangential level, it becomes so much wider and worse. So her arc totally made sense to me. And I thought it was very well done, because she is sensitive. Otherwise, she wouldn't do well in the areas that they need her to.
Yeah. Which is established at the end.
Right. And I love that you've got heroes like recognizing small things. Because outside of Superman, who else does that? Or Batman in the 70s?
Yeah, that's a good point. Almost nobody, ever. Even somebody who's supposedly all about the little guy like Spider-Man, I mean, when was the last time he did something for somebody small?
No, that's not... Spider-Man, actually, because if you think about the moments where he's like, dude, no, you did a great job to the cops, to the firemen. Spider-Man's all about giving credit to other people.
I don't remember any of that recently.
Not in Slott recently, because Slott's had so many fucking... I'm just going to slap him down. But if you go back old school...
Yeah, but what I'm saying, he's done it. It's just been a long time.
Fair enough. But overall, his history, you'd have to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of Supes and Spider-Man, certainly you don't see Wolverine going, no, yeah. Great job, postal repairman.
I want to think that Cap has done it. I just can't remember a specific instance.
No, that's probably... All right, fine. Now we're moving... fine. We're up to 4.
But but that's 4 out of tens of thousands.
Right. But in this, you have the entire team going like, yeah, no, we're all about that.
Yeah, which was
actually,
nice.
you know, I'd have to go 5 because you know who else does that is Green Arrow historically, because he likes the little man more than the heroes anyway.
Him and his whole proletariat loving.
Well, at least old school before he was Arrow.
Yeah, or whatever. Before he was all hip and shit. I still haven't caught Arrow. I think it's finally on Netflix though. So
in the queue.
I don't remember if I put it there. I think I saw it like coming or something. I don't know. Let's finish off.
Oh, what do we got left?
I don't want to do... I mean, you can talk about Quantum and Woody if you want, or Abe Sapien if you want, but I don't remember shit. And
Well,
I didn't write
Abe
it down.
Sapien is so inherently confusing because we're not reading BPRD, and the whole world, like, it's this weird religious thing. Like, a guy got murdered on a beach, but he's actually a suicide, but everybody's faking it because they don't want him to know that he committed suicide. And we have to just sit there and be like, yeah, I totally understand everything that's going on in this world with the weird aliens and death and giant shit. Like, I understood nothing from this fucking book.
Now, it confused me, and I don't even actually remember if I read it, honestly.
As far as Quantum Woody, like, I think Quantum Woody is the best thing ever. You do not. So we're just going to, I'm going to buy them. I'm going to read them. We're not going to talk about them. But
I mean, a couple of things made me giggle, but I can see that they're making an effort to be funny rather than just being funny. I can see that. That's what I'm taking. When I read that, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Oh, that's an attempt. I don't know.
The world's worst superhero team just makes me happy. I love Quantum and Woody. I know that I am not in the major fucking area with that one.
Major area. Majority is maybe what you wanted to say?
Yeah, it works still. But, yeah, as far as Abe Sapien goes, it's an interesting book. It's really dark, and you have to read a bunch of BPRD.
Yeah.
Hell on Earth. And since we don't, Abe Sapien is this weird little side project that we're guessing a lot at.
All right. So, Trillium, I was with until the last couple of pages. I was like, ooh, different planets, weird concepts, sentient viri, all kinds of neat shit. There's colonies and weird cultures, and scientific investigation. The human race is at a turning point or extinction. We don't know which. Probably extinction. And then she goes back in time. And I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Gotta go back in time.
I was so with you. And you know what? If you can't write science fiction that doesn't involve time travel, don't fucking bother.
I'm going to disagree.
You always disagree. You do
That's
that
not true.
To be disagreeable.
That is not true. You know for a fact that I loathe time travel. But I'm curious about this. The idea of, and they really do well, the English explorer because he doesn't know how to do anything else in his own life.
Right?
And then the scientist trying to figure something out. The Incan Temple in space. There's some cool concepts here that I'd like to see more of.
There's a lot of cool concepts.
So I have to give it credit for nailing my interest. I don't know that it's amazing. I will say that I'm like, oh, fuck. I will read the next one, which for a fucking weirdly drawn space romance is pretty goddamn impressive. Because my natural reaction is to be like, fuck no. It's time travel. Everybody looks like they're really upset all the time.
They do. It's accurate.
There's an Incan moving temple filled with aliens. I shouldn't want any of this. And I'm like, well, that was fucking... I can't necessarily say good, because it's only issue 1, but I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
And
there's that much. But I hope that this swapping between timelines or time frames,
Go
however
somewhere.
they're going to play it out, I hope it doesn't... It's not the hinging point of the story.
Well, I feel like the romance is probably, but I see your point. But I will say, for something that inherently involves so many things that I hate, to be like, fuck, that's kind of interesting. I mean, 2 points.
Right. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm good. And at this point, we're going to divide up the books to who belongs who.
God, my pile is large for once.
And I'm going to go to bed. Leaving us with only the exit.
You know, it's interesting because I found over time that by not saying something, I can keep you here longer and annoy you further.
Oh. Well, now that I know that that's your super plot, which is mildly creepy, I can keep you here longer.
Well, only for the drinking.
Oh, yeah. Well, you said you don't need me for that.
Yeah, well, I lied. Bless you! Fuckers!
And away.
And away!
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.